Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed how time never argues, never pauses, never waits for your permission? It just flows endlessly, moment by moment, carrying you toward the unknown. Time is the great equalizer. Every morning, whether you're a billionaire or a beggar, you wake up with the same 24 hours. The difference isn't in the amount of time we have, it's in how we honor it. Time is the great equalizer. No matter who we are, where we come from, or what circumstances we were born into, each of us is given the same 24 hours in a day. It doesn't discriminate between the wealthy and the poor, the powerful and the powerless, the successful and the struggling. Every sunrise gifts us all the same measure of time, yet the way we use it determines the quality and direction of our lives. What separates those who thrive from those who merely survive isn't luck or privilege alone, it's awareness of how precious and limited time truly is. When you realize that time is the one resource you can never reclaim, everything begins to shift. Money lost can be earned again, possessions can be replaced, and opportunities can reappear in new forms. But time, once it has passed, is gone forever. Every second that slips away is a piece of your story that can never be rewritten. That awareness brings humility, but also tremendous power, because it awakens you to the responsibility of how you choose to spend each moment. Too often, people believe they are short on time, yet waste countless hours on distractions, regrets, and worry. The truth is, it's not the lack of time that holds us back, it's the lack of intention. The most fulfilled individuals understand that time is life itself, and they treat it as sacred. They invest their hours into growth, love, creativity, and service. They know that each day is not just something to get through, but something to live through to fill with purpose, awareness, and gratitude. When we see time as the great equalizer, we stop comparing ourselves to others. We realize that success is not about having more hours, but about using the same hours more meaningfully. One person can use an hour to create something inspiring, while another can use that same hour to complain or doubt. The clock ticks at the same pace for both. What changes is the consciousness behind the action. Recognizing this truth allows us to reclaim power over our days. We can no longer blame circumstances, people, or fate for wasted time. Every morning offers a blank canvas of 24 hours, waiting for the strokes of our decisions and attention. If we choose to honor time with presence, discipline, and love, those hours accumulate into a life of depth and fulfillment. Time may be impartial, but what we do with it defines who we become. Time is the true currency of life. Every moment that passes is a silent transaction in which we trade a piece of our existence for whatever we are doing, thinking, or focusing on at that instant. Unlike money, which can be saved, invested, or regained, time can only be spent once. This makes it the most valuable and non-renewable resource we possess. Each second is like a coin we hand over in exchange for experience, emotion, or progress. The tragedy is that most people don't realize how costly their time truly is until much of it has already been spent on things that bring no fulfillment or growth. When you begin to view time as your life's currency, your perception of value changes completely. You become more intentional about where you direct your attention and energy. You begin to ask yourself, is this worth the time I am trading my life for? That question alone can transform the way you live. It challenges you to let go of meaningless distractions, toxic relationships, and unproductive habits that drain your limited supply of moments. It invites you to invest your time in experiences and people that enrich your soul and align with your purpose. Time, like currency, also requires management. Just as financial success depends on wise budgeting, a meaningful life depends on conscious time investment. Many people spend time carelessly, giving hours to worry, gossip, or regret, activities that yield no return. But those who understand the true value of time treat every hour as an opportunity to create, learn, and love. They know that how they spend their minutes ultimately shapes the story of their lives. Every day becomes a chance to deposit something valuable into the account of their destiny. There is profound freedom in realizing that you are in control of how you spend your time. You can choose to waste it or to use it to build something extraordinary. The difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one lies not in how much time a person has, but in how consciously they spend it. When you invest your hours with awareness, every simple act gains meaning. A conversation becomes connection, a walk becomes reflection, a task becomes contribution. Time is always leaving us, yet it is also constantly arriving. The moment you understand its sacred worth, you begin to live differently. You become more present, more grateful, and more deliberate with each passing minute, realizing that how you spend your time is, ultimately, how you spend your life. Procrastination is one of the most silent yet powerful ways we devalue the gift of life. It convinces us that there will always be more time, that tomorrow will be more convenient, that the perfect moment will eventually arrive. But life doesn't operate on our delays. It moves forward with or without our participation. Waiting for the right time is like waiting for the ocean to stop moving before you step into it. There is no stillness in time, only motion, and the longer we wait, the more of our potential drifts away with the passing tide. Every dream deferred, every word left unspoken, every act of kindness postponed steals from the present moment, which is the only place where life truly exists. Tomorrow is a promise, not a guarantee. When we put off the things that matter, our goals, our relationships, our personal growth, we aren't preserving energy or protecting ourselves. We are denying ourselves the experience of living fully. The belief that we'll start later is comforting, but it's an illusion. Later often becomes never, and the perfect moment we wait for never appears because perfection is something we create through action, not hesitation. The power of life lies in the now. Every great achievement, every meaningful connection, every transformation begins when someone decides to act in the present moment. The idea of someday has no substance, but today is real, tangible, and full of opportunity. Procrastination is not just about postponing tasks, it's about postponing life itself. When we delay, we allow fear, doubt, and indecision to take the driver's seat. We become spectators rather than participants in our own journey, letting time slip away while we stand still. When you break free from procrastination, you reclaim your power. You stop living in the illusion of when things settle down, and realize that life will always have its noise and imperfections. The courage to act despite uncertainty is what moves us closer to growth and fulfillment. The first step doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be taken. Every moment spent in action strengthens your confidence and expands your capacity to create change. Choosing to act now doesn't mean rushing, it means being intentional with the time you have. It means realizing that the present moment is not a waiting room, it is the main event. The truth is simple, time will not pause for your readiness. The right time is not a date on the calendar, it is this very second, and every heartbeat that follows is an invitation to live, to move, and to become. Presence transforms time in a way that few other things can. When you live with awareness, each moment expands, becoming richer, deeper, and more meaningful. Time, which often feels like it's slipping through our fingers, begins to slow down in the presence of consciousness. The minutes you live with your mind and heart fully engaged carry more life than hours spent distracted or unaware. Presence allows you to experience the sacredness hidden within the ordinary, to see beauty in a sunrise, to hear truth in silence, to feel gratitude in a simple breath. In today's fast-paced world, many people rush through their days without truly living them. We often move from one task to another, physically present but mentally elsewhere, worrying about tomorrow or replaying yesterday. This fragmentation steals the depth of the present moment and makes time feel fleeting and insufficient. Yet the reality is that time doesn't vanish. It's simply that we fail to inhabit it fully. The key to transforming our relationship with time lies in the power of presence, the conscious decision to bring our awareness back to the now, again and again. When you are fully present, even the simplest actions become expressions of peace and purpose. A conversation turns into connection, a walk becomes meditation, and work transforms into a meaningful contribution. Presence doesn't require external change. It requires inner stillness, a willingness to be with what is without resistance. This shift in consciousness allows time to unfold differently. You begin to experience life as it happens, rather than chasing moments that have yet to come or mourning those that have already passed. Presence also cultivates gratitude. When you are truly aware, you realize how miraculous each moment is. You start to see that the now is not just a bridge between past and future, but the essence of life itself. Every second becomes an opportunity to awaken to joy, compassion, and authenticity. Time, in its purest form, becomes a gift rather than a burden. Instead of fighting against it, you flow with it, and this harmony creates inner peace. When you practice presence, life no longer feels like a race but a rhythm. You begin to experience the fullness of time, not in how long you live, but in how deeply you engage with each breath, each thought, and each heartbeat. Through presence, every moment becomes timeless, and time itself becomes a reflection of your inner stillness and awareness. Depth matters more than duration because the true value of life is not measured in years, but in the richness of the moments we live with awareness, love, and purpose. Many people live long lives yet remain disconnected from the essence of living, while others, who may walk the earth for only a short while, leave behind an impact that echoes for generations. It's not how much time you have, but how deeply you live the time you're given. Depth gives meaning to existence. It fills each moment with intention and presence, transforming ordinary experiences into lasting memories and lessons. A person who lives deeply understands that every second carries potential. They engage fully with life, feeling its textures and subtleties instead of rushing past them. They listen when others speak. They notice the colors of the sky, they give love without hesitation, and they face challenges with awareness rather than fear. Their life may not be free from struggle, but it is full of meaning because they meet each experience with openness and gratitude. The quality of life, therefore, lies not in extending time, but in expanding consciousness within it. When you focus on duration alone, you may fall into the illusion of mere survival, counting days, months, and years as though accumulation equals fulfillment. But time without depth is like a river that never nourishes the land it touches. It moves but leaves nothing behind. A deep life, on the other hand, nourishes everything it encounters. It is marked by compassion, creativity, service, and understanding. Each moment becomes a reflection of one's inner growth and spiritual awareness. Living deeply requires a shift in perspective. It means slowing down enough to feel, to reflect, to appreciate. It's about prioritizing experiences that awaken your heart rather than simply fill your schedule. You can live 1,000 days without truly being alive, or you can live one mindful hour that changes everything. The difference lies in how present and connected you are to the moment unfolding before you. Depth also brings peace. When you are anchored in meaning, time no longer feels like something slipping away, but as something sacred, flowing through you and shaping you. You stop fearing the end because you know you have lived completely. Each breath becomes enough, each act becomes whole, and each day becomes a chapter of truth and authenticity. It is not the length of your life that will be remembered, but the depth of your living. Honoring time aligns you with purpose because it teaches you to live with awareness, discipline, and gratitude for every passing moment. When you begin to value time as something sacred, you naturally start directing it toward what truly matters. You become conscious of how your actions, thoughts, and choices either move you closer to your purpose or pull you away from it. Time, when respected, becomes a guide. It shows you where your energy is being invested, and whether that investment nurtures your growth or drains your potential. To honor time is to honor life itself, because time is the very fabric through which life expresses itself. When you treat time carelessly, you drift. Days turn into weeks, and weeks into years, without a sense of direction or fulfillment. But when you begin to honor time, even small moments become purposeful. You start to notice that how you spend your mornings shapes your days, and how you spend your days shapes your destiny. Living with intention means making conscious choices about how you use your hours, whether to create, to learn, to love, or to rest. This sense of awareness aligns you naturally with the deeper rhythm of your purpose, guiding you toward the life you were meant to live. Honoring time doesn't mean rushing or cramming every minute with activity. It means understanding that every moment is an opportunity to connect with something meaningful. It's not about doing more. It's about being more deliberate in what you do. A few minutes spent in sincere reflection can be far more valuable than hours spent in distraction. When you live this way, time begins to serve you rather than control you. You start to experience harmony instead of pressure, direction instead of confusion. Respecting time also deepens your relationship with yourself.